Hello, my name is Miss Lacey, and today we're going to do an eggsperiment on density. We're going to investigate what happens when we put an egg in different types of water. I'm wondering what I could do to make this egg float, or if there's anything I can do to make it float. So let's figure it out together. The materials that you need for this experiment are 3 glass jars with ordinary tap water filled to about the same level. You'll also need 3 eggs, and I've placed a mark around the egg so that if the water gets cloudy for any reason, you can still see what's happening to the egg. You'll also need salt, for which I've pre-measured 6 tablespoons, and I've also pre-measured 6 tablespoons of sand. Now the sand is black because it comes from Costa Rica, but you can get sand from the closest beach to you. You'll also need a mixing spoon. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the egg in the first jar of tap water and see what happens. Next, I'll add sand to the second jar, place the egg inside, and observe. And I'll continue this with the third jar with the salt. But first, what do you think is going to happen in the different jars when we place the egg and the sand or the salt inside, or what will happen to the egg in the regular tap water? So before we get started, I'm going to ask you to make 3 hypotheses about what you think will happen. Take a moment to pause the video and record your thoughts in this format. If blank, then blank, because blank. Do this for each of the 3 variations of water we are going to examine. All right, now that you have formulated your hypotheses, we're ready to begin. So, in the first jar of regular tap water, I'm going to place the egg. Before I do this, though, be thinking about your hypothesis and see if it's going to match up with your prediction. Not so exciting. That's okay. We'll place the sand in the second jar and see if anything else happens. Notice the color of the water as I pour in the sand. It appears to be changing. Take note of what it really does. Always mix up your solutions. That's plenty good, I think. We'll take the second egg and we're going to place it inside the now sand and water solution. Think about your hypothesis and predict what you believe is going to happen to this egg. Oh, gosh, that's not really what I had hoped for. And I'm thinking, if jars 1 and 2, there wasn't any magnificent reaction, I'm almost thinking that I shouldn't even bother with the salt, because aside from the color difference, sand and salt are about the same size and about the same shape. But you know what? Since you're here and since I have the salt, I'll go ahead and try it anyways. So I'm going to put the 6 tablespoons of salt into the third jar. Again, I have to mix it up just like I did in jar number 2. Want to mix it very good. Also take note of the change in clarity of the water in the third jar. That's definitely changed. You think we should do a little bit more, just to make sure. Alrighty. Now, I'm going to place the egg in the third jar. But before that, do consider your third hypothesis. What did you think would happen to the egg in the jar with the salt water? Oh my goodness, that is egg-citing. Do you see what's happening right now? Take a good look. Do you see the stripes along the side? What's happening is the egg is floating. Can you believe it? I know I really can't. But let's revisit our questions. What happened to the egg in each of the glasses? And did it match your hypothesis, or did it not match your hypothesis? What was different in how the second and the third solutions made it so that the egg floated in the salt water, but not the sand water or the tap water? Any ideas? Well, you guessed it. It has to do with the density of the salt water. So, to conclude, I will take 24 seconds to explain this concept and then give you a 7-word summary. Are you ready? Okay, now listen closly. Here it goes. When salt and water are mixed, the dissolved salt ions bind tightly to the water molecules, packing more matter into the space. The more matter there is, the denser the water becomes. In other words, the salt water we created has more stuff in it than the tap water, so it's much denser. The dense water then pushes up the egg, making it the egg so it doesn't sink. Sand, on the other hand, does not dissolve in water and doesn't push the egg up with enough force. So, my 7-word summary: the denser liquids will float eggs better. Thank you so very much for watching my science demonstration. Please tune in next week, and I'll show you how to fit an egg in a tiny little glass bottle without breaking it or even touching it. Thanks so much. See you next time.